Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way more people would learn about the podcast and truths about Russia's invasion. Spread the word, people, spread the word. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 383 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. Ukrainian crews completed operational training on the Leopard 2 main battle tanks in Germany and Spain, reports European Pravda. In Germany, after several weeks of training, the soldiers conducted live-fire exercises on March 13th at a military training ground in Bergen, Lower Saxony. The training will allow Ukrainian soldiers to carry out combat operations using modern weapon systems. In Spain, 10 Ukrainian military crews completed the 4 weeks training at the Military Training Center in Zaragoza. A total of 55 Ukrainian servicemen were trained, both professional military personnel and reserve soldiers aged 21 to 60. Each tank crew consists of a commander, driver, loader, and shooter. An additional 15 technicians were trained, 5 of whom are specialists in mechanics, 5 in electronics, and 5 more in weapons. The personnel who were trained had previous experience in using battle tanks. Prior of the Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra Monastery, Metropolitan Pavel said that the monks of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate will not move out of the monastery, reports Interfax Ukraine. We do not intend to move out and will not do this because now there are laws that are on the human side. We are not collaborators, we are citizens of our country, we are people who have been living here since 1988 and many of us have no other place except this one, said Pavel. Earlier, Ukrainian authorities decided to terminate the rental agreement for Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra Monastery with the Ukrainian Orthodox Church connected with the Russian Church. The Kyiv-Pechersk Lavra is one of the oldest and most important Orthodox monasteries in Ukraine, founded in 1051. Officially, it belongs to the state, but for many years large parts of the complex were used by the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate. The Wall Street Journal informs that Chinese President Xi Jinping plans to speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after his visit to Moscow next week, reports Liga. According to media sources, it will be the first conversation since the start of the full-fledged Russian invasion and would mark a significant step in Beijing's efforts to play peacemaker in Ukraine, which have so far been met with skepticism in Europe. Earlier, China released a 12-point document in which it called for a political solution to the war and an end to unilateral sanctions. Russia announced that it is ready to extend the Black Sea Grain Initiative, but only for 60 days and not 120 as suggested by Ukraine, reports European Pravda. Alexander Kubrakov, Minister of Infrastructure of Ukraine, said that this way Russia is violating the agreement. The grain agreement was signed for the first time through the mediation of the UN and Turkey in July 2022 for a 120 days period. It allowed the transportation of Ukrainian agricultural products across the Black Sea to the world market. The minister added that Kyiv is waiting for the official position of the UN and Turkey as guarantors of the initiative. Foreign Minister of Ukraine Dmytro Kuleba said that he had submitted to President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky the candidates for ambassadors of Ukraine to China, India and Brazil, reports LBUA. He said that they will be announced after the president's approval, but stressed that they are professionals with the experience of government work at the level of ministers and deputy ministers. Kuleba also announced an open call for ambassadors of Ukraine in 21 countries with a focus on African continent. He stressed that it is for the first time that everyone can apply. According to the minister, open call is needed due to the lack of personnel in the diplomatic system. The Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine proposes to the Parliament, the Verkhovna Rada, to increase state budget spending by 537 billion hryvnia, which is $14.6 billion, reports Radio Liberty. Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said that out of this sum, 518 billion hryvnia will be allocated to the security and defense sector and the rest to the reserve fund. According to him, thanks to the support of international partners, Ukraine has found additional financial opportunities to support the army. In particular, these funds will be spent on payments to the military, the purchase of military and special equipment. The Highlights from Ukraine podcast is a commercial initiative of just two people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the apps, ideally with 5 stars, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.